sitting up front.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no,
I was
yeah, no, I mean,
Do you have a second one? Do you have a second one? It's for that artist.
okay, it's 8:02 a.m. and I'm calling the meeting to order. Unfortunately, Secretary James Hogg can't be here today because he's been called into Caesar's Palace where he's working now, so I'll be taking the notes. The minutes of the last meeting have been online for 10 or 11 months. I don't think there's anything viewable on your phone if you want to see them. I don't think there was anything contentious. Unless anyone's got any questions,
I make motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Thank you.
Aye.
Jay wanted that. Put it a bit closer to his ear. I don't have anything specific to report myself. Obviously, later on in the meeting I'll take any questions, but I think I've tried a lot better to communicate everything that's going on through the year, either directly or through Doug, etc., and his committee, and doing a lot of work for us, which he'll talk about later. So I'm going to skip to the Treasurer's report, which again has been online for a couple of months. Bud, do you have any?
Well, I have good news and I have good news.
Oh,
With the increase in the membership fees, we're making more money. Looks like it's going to be a fabulous convention. We should make some money. And we're working diligently on reducing costs, which means we should be making some more money. So those red numbers that we've been looking at for the last several years certainly will be reduced and hopefully reversed. So I think we're going in the right direction. We're doing the right stuff. Nothing happens overnight, but slow and steady, some that's the same.
small and steady wins the race.
That's it.
So,
That's the tortoise and the hare, right?
yeah.
Okay, so we're being a tortoise, we're going in the right direction, we're doing okay. I don't have any specifics on anything, but anybody have any questions?
Are we still signed for South Point for 2 more years?
We have 2 more years.
2 more.
We have, it's new, they are new contracts, although they're virtually identical. You know, there'll just be inflation on the cost. Virtually identical to the current one. They are actually 2 single years I signed. In the past we've had like a 2-year contract. For some reason they gave me a 2025 contract and a 2026 contract. And I thought about it and I thought, well, the room costs are locked in. The discounted resort fee is locked in, which is great because it's going to get whacked up. Apparently, is it already 31 or something ridiculous now? It's going up again and again. So we're locked into that. And I thought, well, just in case something happens somewhere along the line, having 2 separate ones, because you can cancel like a year ahead. Having 2 separate ones just gives us, if there is a problem, gives us a chance to opt out of the second one. So I let that go as it was. So that's where we are. And I might as well, I do it at this point. Normally, the convention chair would have a few other comments to make. Jim Stefano can't be here because his wife is not in good health, to be fair, and even last year it caused problems with him coming away. So he basically handled everything apart from dealings with the South Point up until the week before the show, and I just helped with the final arrangements here. You'll have noticed, you may have noticed a couple of things that were different to last year, and I'll explain why. We've had a lot of trouble the previous 3 years where we've rented in tables and chairs from an outside company. I know South Point are not particularly cheap in providing furniture. Neither are the rental companies nowadays. They're unreliable in terms of the time they arrived, the condition the chairs and tables were in, the fact that they were only willing to dump them just inside the door, you know, off their trolleys so they could reuse, and we had to drag them all around the hall, drape them, clean the chairs, which were disgusting, etc. I managed to do a deal with the hotel whereby we would rent 100 plus tables and chairs at a preferential rate to what they normally offer. Obviously, overall, this did cost us an extra $2,500. Now that money is saved by one, the smaller removal truck from storage, even the slightly smaller one, is almost $1,000 cheaper for the move there and back. And two reasons why the concession stand didn't open. Firstly, the minimum now, we had been getting a little bit of a deal previously before other concession facilities up here were opened up. The minimum for that is $1,200 a day spend. It does include the vouchers we used to give out, but we have to pay for the cost of the vouchers used as well. So we had a shortfall there of $1,700 in total last year. So basically, I figured the money to have the tables done better, looking nicer, etc., no volunteers dropping dead almost somewhere along the line. It was just worth it. It made sense. They gave me a fair enough deal that we could afford to do it. And with the few, even with inflation, with the few extra tables we sold with the deal where you could get an extra table for $140, etc., I believe that our convention cost this year is something like $500 less than they were last year overall. So it's good.
Nice job.
So I've covered the convention part at the same time, I guess. Okay, back to Treasurer. Were there any other questions for Bud, or else would somebody like to propose a motion?
Propose motion to accept treasury report.
Accept.
Aye.
All in favour? Membership officer.
Okay, as of now, as of yesterday, we have 929 members. Over the past year, we lost a net of 55 members, which includes 20 members who passed away. We really lost 35. This includes 97 new memberships, many of which were previous members and rejoined. And that's really it. It's fairly stable. We keep losing.
It's more stable though.
It's more stable
It's
than it has
tapered,
been.
yeah. And I think Doug will probably be adding a little bit to the story. We don't have to have a motion to accept for any further reports. One of the
Does that include, is that regular members or is that associate members also, the number you gave?
That's total. Right now we have 287 life members, 529 regular members, and 112 associate members.
Did anybody ask the member why they rejoined?
Yes.
Because I mean,
Why did they rejoin?
that needs to be raised, that's a great question.
No, that's an interesting one. We always look and think about why they left and trying to get feedback from them. It's an interesting point.
Are we tracking the demographics of the new members? Like age, location?
It's really not information we get.
Do we
don't
have
get their ages.
Yeah, I mean, we've always had this problem, haven't we, that people like to generally give you the minimum information they can.
Right.
And if you ask for anything else, God, it's taken us years to get email addresses in most cases. Why people don't want to give them, I don't know. Secretive, no? You work at the, have any of you worked at the registration desk? Yeah. You know, you try and get information from people when they're walking off the street and they want to come in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, big secret.
They don't even want to give
You know, it's
your name.
ridiculous, isn't it?
What's your name?
They
They
don't
want
want
to
to
give
give
a first name, they won't give
their
you
name.
a last name.
Why? If they're that interested, surely they want to, you know, to be provided with information for future years, etc. And no one's never figured that out.
They're just really concerned about getting more spam on their email, so honestly.
Well,
It's really hard to delete it.
yeah, it's like, do you have to read every single post that's made on the chipboard? You know, you can, it is possible to skip past it.
Well, not if you don't know that.
Right. Okay, any other questions for Jay? So, as I mentioned, I set up a,
Do we need to make a motion to accept that?
No.
Report?
it's only last year's minutes past the treasurers. I created a new committee around August, September last year, initially, to look at, initially it was to look at what should the future of the museum be, i.e. are we really ever going to have a bricks and mortar building, or do we concentrate on digital, considering the chip guys our biggest asset, etc., etc. And this sort of morphed into a committee which Doug Smith kindly volunteered to be in charge of. Well, I think he volunteered, maybe. Maybe I just asked you, but anyway, that would look at that route and recruitment and retention in membership, and basically that morphed into any areas of the club where we thought we could improve things, and it's really covered a wide number of things. So I thought it'd be better if Doug himself gave just a brief rundown of what's been looked at and what's been achieved so far and what's in progress.
I didn't really prepare anything specific, but most of you, if you read the magazine or the newsletter, are aware that we have the membership growth and engagement committee. So there's 10 members. We've been working on this for a little bit over a year now, meet every other week, coming up with some great ideas. We put together a list of about 125 ideas, some fantastic members working on it. I'm not going to go through everything we've done. We've accomplished about 30 things on that list so far, but some of the things that I am proud of that we did have produce a new specific page for newbie collectors. So if you're a new collector, you can go to that page. It has all kinds of resources and things you can click on. That's on our club page now. We've met with we have a goal of trying to getting membership from outside groups. We've had Zoom meetings with PCF, Boca Chipper. We plan on doing with other non-members to see if we can provide benefit to them, of the club to them, and see what we could work in so we can get new membership. We did a formal exit survey, which we're going to send to every member that hasn't been here for the last, that did not renew in the last couple of years. Great suggestion that we had on there, where, I'm not sure, did you come up with that? With when people actually did renew, why they renewed, because we'd love to get that information too. So we do have a plan to use this. We're actually using Constant Contact, the same program that we use to send out the newsletter, for a lot of other things now so we've really expanded the use of how we're going to do that electronically. Of course, a huge push to get membership email so we can get this out to everybody. We created a tear sheet for the club. If everyone's walked around the tables, you've probably seen little cards on the tables that advertise next year's convention. They got a QR code on there that you can scan and bring it to a place that lets you look at not only the convention stuff, but also the website, the membership. It brings you all kinds of places, even the mode. We've got a way to officially easily sign up for the newsletter on the website, on a web page now. Before it was a little bit more difficult. You had to email somebody and they got to add you to the list, but all that is electronic now. the 50/50 raffle at the convention. That was an idea that came out of the committee that over the last 2 days raised over $1,000 for the club that we probably should have been doing years and years ago, but the idea just popped up. I think that was Paul's idea. So those are just some of the many ideas that we're working. We're going to continue to work there. The biggest need that we have now is additional volunteers. So we have a call for volunteers. Anybody who knows somebody who might want to help out in one of these things, we are accomplishing stuff. We could just accomplish a lot more if we had more people helping us out. So, thanks.
Yeah, we definitely want to applaud Doug and his committee for what they've been doing. And personally, I thank you very much for that. And those committee members that are here.
Next, do you have anything to report, Charles? It's optional to a degree. No, if, as chairman of the MOG, is there anything you want to communicate to people here?
We had a meeting earlier, a couple of days ago, with Barry Sherwood, and we're going to make an effort to consolidate the various clubs' websites. And one of the things we want to do is create a membership database that would be used universally throughout all the websites, so everybody has current information. How it affects the MOG. The MOG has a chip guide. There's certain features that we restrict to membership, but the way it works right now is when you sign up, if you're a member, you get it, but we don't keep track of have you renewed your membership or anything. So if we do have a universal database with current membership information, we'll be able to, when somebody logs on, check to see if they're still a current member.
The idea is if effectively, in the end, we're trying to get to a single login, aren't we? So you log in, you've got all your membership information, etc., etc. You're into the forums, you're into the club site, you're into the chip guide in one go. That's the ultimate objective.
There are various number of projects being worked on in the chip guide with the aim that at the end of it, we will have a chip guide that's more secure and will allow for various levels of membership. One of the comments that we get is, I don't need to join the club because the best asset is the chip guide and that's free. So if we make access to the chip guide very basic for free, but if you want to really use it, you have to be a member of the club. It should attract a lot of new members to the club. So we're working in that direction.
And all the members that we talked to in their Zoom meetings at CCA, all of them, the exact same.
That was the astonishing thing, that they were all completely happy to pay $40 basically to continue accessing the information.
You know, this is
Liberal
what
vote
we're
for.
And let's assume that you can have the first 5 or 10, when you're looking at chips, free. And then from then on, restricted, and you have to be members of it. And I think you'll get a lot of action on that.
Some of these committees look forward into, I don't want to cut you off, but not completely doing away with, you don't have any access to the chip guide for free, but looking at ways to limit it. Do you look at just chips and you can't look at other stuff? Do you have only 5 searches you can look at? Do you see blurry images but don't see the information? So we got to find out some way of making it so in order to gain all the usage of the chip guide that everyone loves to use now every day and gets used to is only a member benefit, because we got too many people who are not joining and they would join if that was a true benefit.
Yeah,
Right. For me, Greg Suzon did the chip guide as a labor of love and made it available for free.
Yeah.
So in some manner, I want to keep that tradition going.
No, that's, I mean, to some degree, that's the same reason that I try to let the chip board run the same way I think Greg would have done, you know, and only step in maybe a little bit late stepping in to tell everybody to shut up, although it does tend to work, I notice. When I make a post, you get a couple of months and everyone goes quiet, but I try and let it,
Well, but I'd like to comment on that. I think I applaud you for stepping in. I think it could have been sooner, because the comments that I got were, I don't need this. I'm here to have fun, enjoy myself, and if that's not going to happen, if I have to see all this stuff on the chipboard, then I don't need to be here. I don't think we need to lose members because of the language that we see on the chipboard sometimes.
Well, that person who said they weren't going to renew their membership or whatever, I can't remember, did go ahead and renew their membership a couple of days later anyway. But, well, one of the problems, to be fair, to understand, particularly say you may be on a Saturday night where there's a lot more traffic on there. Somebody might post something controversial just after I've gone to sleep. By the time I wake up in the morning, there's 30 replies to it. When you've got that much traffic, it's a little bit more difficult to go in and wipe the thing out without explanation. If I catch something as it's happened, bang, take it out, no comment, just delete it. So it's, and I wonder sometimes whether certain people deliberately do that, they look at the time and they think, right, well, Sprague's not around, he won't see this till tomorrow, so I'll post it away,
So maybe you need a U.S. operative. A man in Nevada.
Anyway, the overall message is we're trying to go in the right direction with everything right now. And in fact, one of the things to both to prepare people perhaps for taking future board positions or getting them to understand more that happens in our level of the club. The two non-voting member-at-large positions were created on the board for the constitutional amendment last year, and they will be inducted shortly, one in their absence. But that was another area, so that we had somebody in a more senior position that could be tasked with duties that we thought needed to be at a higher level. And unless anyone had any questions for Charles, that then swings us back round to Doug, because it'll be time for the election report next. Okay. There you go.
So, election report is as follows. 23 ballot nominations were received by the January 19th deadline. None were voided. 11 members received a minimum of 2 nominations. 4 members received just 1 nomination and were not eligible for a constitution. The results of those nominations were: for Vice President, Jim Bolas accepted, Jerry Bragados accepted, Steve Miller declined. For Treasurer, Bud Wazinski accepted. And for Membership Officer, Jay Sands accepted, Doug Baldini declined, Doug Smith declined. We had 2 also member-at-large positions. The 2-year term, Richard Huber accepted, Ed Hertel declined, Bob Niskow declined, Rick Timmons declined, and Doug Smith declined. And the member 1-year term, Dick Bartley accepted, Nate Pincus declined, Bob declined, Paul Schaefer declined, and Richard Huber declined now. So the member-at-large positions are filled by Richard Huber, who gets the 2-year term, and Dick Bartley, who gets the 1-year term. And then we have a result of a vice president election between Jerry and Jim Bolas. The ballots for those were counted and witnessed by Mary Smith, which is my wife, Ed Hertel, and myself on Saturday, June 1st. Our examination included confirming the membership numbers and status of the voters for the official membership list and/or confirmation from the membership officer. We counted the ballots and reconfirmed with a second counting. There was 198 total ballots received. No ballots were voided, so all 198 were counted. The outcome was Jim Bolas 138, Jerry Bragados 60, Based on this results, Jim Polis has been elected Vice President of the CCA for the following 2-year term. And we confirm the numbers stated here are correct and request that the CCA Secretary or somebody else, because Secretary is not here, certify the election of Richard Huber, Dick Bartley, and Jim Polis.
And also Bud and Jay. They're all part of the election.
They are.
Yeah,
And
so
Bud and Jay.
that's
They
the-
were
Which I'm going to have to put on my report.
They were uncontested.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
So on behalf of the board and the membership, I hereby cast one vote to swear in the continuing and new board members. And from this point, Richard, if anybody asks you a question, you can answer it. So, is there any old business remaining that anyone feels wasn't answered or dealt with or anything?
We don't have to accept this report. Is that-
Well, it's already done, he signed. The whole point is that we've accepted it by casting one vote. That's how it works.
And I would give this to you, but apparently I need to redo it and
Add that on. And then obviously I prefer, I will restore the original copy. Well, the original copy will go to James Hobbit, who was the secretary, and I prefer it as a PDF so I can post it on the site very quickly. So it's not fast.
Mr. J, we lost a lot of names that were very top rule list, and we added in,
Here's what I did. Someone, probably at least 10 years ago, made the decision to just erase all the listings of people who were no longer current. So we lost approximately 5,000 listings. So what I did was, I went through every club magazine to find not only the new members, but there were various and sundry lists of people. We had a list of the people who supported the anti-slabbing movement. You know, there's lists, you know, so I went through every single club magazine since, you know, year 1, volume 1.
Wow.
And recovered most of them. Most of them. There's still a lot of question marks.
Thank you for your time.
I had a lot of old directories.
Yeah.
And obviously, this is the time of year where men change.
Yeah.
Oh, that's you.
But yeah, I think that we should come up with some kind of a label list, and at least do it. I'm sure they don't have all emails on there at this point.
I get a lot of emails kicked back. I get a lot of regular mail kicked back. People just seem to forget about the club membership as something that they interact with through the mail, you know, especially from the magazine.
A lot of people seem to use an email address for PayPal, for example, that they don't use for anything else. I don't know why.
Well, I pick all those up. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So
but I'm
it's
just
PayPal
saying,
was information that they have
you
addressed
use
it.
that email address and then they don't ever answer it.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you had, for a long time, you had an email address you didn't really ever look at for anything else, it was a Hotmail one. That was always your PayPal.
That was my first email address.
Yeah, but you then
2 other ones, yeah.
didn't, you know, regularly use it, so.
Right, yeah, that's true.
It's difficult, just as we said earlier, it's really hard getting the information,
Yeah.
people to contact you. Sorry, and George, Paul was first. Yeah? Oh, sorry.
I don't know if it's old business or new business, but we need help laundering some of those tablecloths. Who do I go to for that? 'Cause I think Jerry used to take them.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we donated his laundry cart back to the South Point.
Yes, I know.
So,
I know.
no, we do, although from the four tubs of cloths that you brought in, most don't look too bad. I'm surprised. I actually thought
I was
they would be a
shocked.
lot poorer. I guess that it's probably who's willing to go through all the tubs and identify the ones that need laundering.
Well, we're gonna separate them today when we pick them up.
Yeah?
But who's gonna, if we had like 10 people, or maybe even 8 people
Oh, well,
locally,
And you take
and take 10 each or
30, 20
something.
each home or whatever. They would just have to look for volunteers, carry it forward and look for volunteers. It's a fair point. George,
Yes, sir. I didn't know before, and I can't find anybody else who does know today, these 2 new positions. What exactly do those people do?
those people are there for either us or other committee heads who require an additional resource at a more senior level to be given ad hoc tasks as they go along. They can also help to cover where another board member for some reason may have a short absence or need extra help because of the workload. And if a new position comes along that you may feel is worthy of a board level appointment, they will be offered those positions. There is no defined list of duties. That was made clear in the original thing. To a degree, that's the purpose of a member at large.
So
But they will be in on all communication with the board. So every time somebody comes to the board to discuss something or to ask for opinions, etc., they will be in on those discussions.
But they don't vote.
They don't vote, no, but that doesn't mean that we won't ignore what they're saying. Somebody, Dick or Richard, might know more about something than the rest of us. So we'll listen to their...
If you can't do something, the old way was Jim would step in. Now you can delegate that to somebody else.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Okay.
But also, people like, for example, Doug in his position, he could also ask one of those people to, to take over a part of something his team are implementing that needs a sort of more senior name attached to it, so to speak.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I suppose that's already moved into new business anyway. Is there any other new business or any other questions at all? No, in that case, can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So many.
Swear in the officers.
You've done it. You missed it.
No, you voted them in, you didn't
Yeah.
swear them in.
We don't have that.
Okay.
No, Eric
Eric needs to
admitted
swear them in.
that it was all for show. His own personal thing. Okay. The time is 8:35 a.m. Thank you for everyone for coming.
Thank you.
And thank all the board members.